Welcome to another Phys Ed and Minor Game video. The game I'm going to be looking at today is called Cardio Treasure Hunt. Now the equipment you're going to need for this game is you'll need 50 cones and you'll need approximately 40 laminated activity cards, and this is something you're going to have to set up prior, so it will take a bit of organising. Now as you can see, what you'll have is a playing field, the ballpark figure around about a basketball court size, and you'll place the cones and you'll scatter them amongst that court. And you'll need to obviously have time to set this up prior to the students getting there, because you'll need to have them set up so they can't see where the activity cards are placed and where they're not, and so on. Now, the way the game works, you'll divide your class into 4 even teams. Tends to work pretty well, and you'll place them generally down one side of the basketball court. Tends to work best. Now, the way the game works is, or the aim of the game, is to basically have the most activity cards by the completion of the set time. So you're looking to get those cards, get the activity done, and then get back out there and get another card. So you can see here, when the teacher says go, one player from each team runs out and they select a cone. When they get there, they lift up the cone, and whatever's underneath that cone they then take back to their teammate and execute that cardio activity. So you can see here, this group have got 5 push-ups, so I'll say it's the blue team. So the blue team then run back to their teammates and say, okay, I've got 5 push-ups. They get down, they do their 5 push-ups. That player then tags the next player in line, and that player runs out and actually picks up another cone. Now, as you'll see, the player actually placed the cone back down, so you won't know exactly which cones have already been looked at and which won't. So it comes down to a bit of communication, a bit of cooperation. The students have to work together and make sure they're taking notice of what other cones are being collected by other players at other teams and so on, and hopefully that way they'll be able to pick up a cone with a target or an activity still underneath there. Okay, so if they make the mistake and they go to a cone that's already been lifted and they lift it up again, there's nothing under there, you would then have the set cardio activity. So it might be, okay, if you pick up a cone, there's nothing underneath it. So you might have the rule that they have to run across, touch the sideline from the other side of the court, and then run back and then start again. Or depending on the ability level or the fitness level of a student, you might have them every time they pick up a cone with nothing underneath it, they have to do a full lap of the basketball court. Now that's entirely up to you. When you're looking for cardio tasks, if you jump on and do any type of Google search or any search engine, you'll find there's heaps of different cardio tasks you can be able to do, depending on what type of equipment you've got access to. Here's just a few examples. Now, the number of each one, obviously again, depends on the ability level of your students. You do want some where it might simply be just 1 push-up. So when they pick up that activity card, they go, oh great, it's only 1 push-up. They get down, do their push-up, and they can go again. So they've got an activity card pretty cheaply, I suppose. One thing that I tend to do is actually use the optional activity cards like these ones. So here's just a couple of examples. It's kind of like I suppose, the card game, where you can actually take from or penalise your opponent. So one might be take an activity card from the team on your right. So you actually go over, you get to collect it, come back, and you don't actually have to do any of the cardio activity. It might be the other way, where you pick up a bad card, where you have to actually go and give it to the team on your right. Or you might have ones where you actually play rock, scissors, paper against an opposing player. If you win, you take a card. If you lose, you give them a card, and so on. So that's just another way to sort of spice the game up, I suppose. Now, one thing you will have to be aware of, if you do have some students who are quite unfit, they're not going to enjoy doing something like this. So you have to see if you can actually make it a bit more enjoyable. So that's where you'd really encourage a bit of camaraderie between your teammates, I suppose. So you might be able to say, okay, if you find one of your teammates is struggling, so say Jimmy, he can't quite do the 10 push-ups, he can only get to about 5, you could then say to his teammates, you could say to the stronger players, okay guys, if you all do an extra push-up each, that means that you've still got the same amount of push-ups, and then you can move on again. So hopefully they'll be able to help each other out. And that's how you play Cardio Treasure Hunt. For more minor game and resource ideas, head to physed.com.au or subscribe to the Phys Ed YouTube channel. Thank you.